Good morning to all of our Brahmins friends out there. So we've arrived once again here at Bontela Torata Vegoria, and today we're going to share some more ancient wisdom secrets. Just going to show you how lovely the garden's looking this morning after the storm that we had yesterday.
We had an extremely big storm last night,
And just show them how
just look at how
looks.
fresh everything looks.
And I think it's already coming again. So yeah, today we're going to be shooting everything inside once again, but just taking you through a quick tour once again to show you the beautiful spiritual garden where all of God's creations dwell.
But let's go inside before the next storm hits.
Yes, before the next storm. So let's go and
See you
share
now.
some ancient wisdom secrets.
Yeah, it's not every day that somebody fall into a swimming pool, but luckily they survived, so whatever.
Oh, the shame. Oh.
Sorry.
Are we ready as usual, you guys?
Ready as usual.
Ready as usual,
Awesome,
ready
that's
as
awesome.
always.
So
Are you
excited.
sure you are ready?
I'm so excited.
Are you looking
to start.
forward to the program?
Oh, yes.
You
Definitely.
cannot imagine how I look forward to this.
No, definitely.
Good day to all our friends out there, and welcome to Program G. Ghosts versus earthbound human souls.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Versus copies of happenings, history that took place there, versus demonic consciousness giving life forms, which is which, and how to identify them individually. Then comes the question, or then the question pops up: how do these unseen entities harm you, make you ill, or even kill you?
Oh, yes. So if you haven't watched the previous programs in this series, please catch up for you to understand more. Otherwise, you can miss out on names and the meanings of names and actions.
Please keep in mind that there are millions of people over the globe suffering from unnecessary due to the above mentioned unseen entities. Please share and
Appreciate this previous.
programs in the series to the people you know would benefit from ancient wisdom secrets in this program.
Remember to press the like, share and subscribe buttons, as well as the little bell icon to be in line for more spiritual programs and ancient wisdom secrets.
Please do so.
People in Western countries are more into Christianity, and in Christian churches here in South Africa, people are mind controlled to believe only in what the Christian churches want them to believe in. Unfortunately, the unseen deity realms is not part of the Christian educational system. I'm sure these people interested in the educational program series doesn't really know the difference between ghosts, earthbounders, and copies of entities walking amongst us.
Thanks, Akita, for bringing this up. What you say is very sad, but unfortunately it is true.
Yeah.
My late mother always said, yeah, sad but true. And, it gives one a reason to think about these things. And Dunamis and pastors, to name only two examples of so-called spiritual leaders, study theology, which is not deity science. After a degree in theology, Dunamis and pastors will still cannot tell you where in heaven or where the heaven they believe in, or where the hell is. Neither do they know the deity hierarchical structures, the cosmic laws, etc. They know nothing about real, they didn't study it. They cannot communicate two-way with real light side deities, angelical beings, or spiritual guides. They don't even believe in a spiritual guide.
No.
They cannot teach the cosmic laws because they don't know where to find it in the Bible, which is their book of life,
Yes,
according
yeah.
to the rules there. They don't know where to find it in. They differ when it comes to who they actually believe in. So much so that they have more than 6,000 different Christian churches around the world. Each church believing in whatever they want to believe in, which makes them feel good to believe in. Can you imagine, like, this is not a deity program as such, but if you think of it, the one, let's say, is a professor in theology, and he's now, let's say, in one of the Afrikaans churches here in South Africa. There he will come, and he will say, the Holy Spirit showed me that the baptism with the sprinkling is the only key to heaven. And then you come to a total other, let's say, also a professor, but from a total different church, a more charismatic church. And he will tell you the same. The Holy Spirit came onto me and showed me that the only way to get into heaven is to, put the whole body under the water and come up. It is like dying and rebirth.
Yes.
Now, if they pray to the same Holy Spirit,
What?
why are there two different answers? And I can promise you, it's not only those two.
Yeah.
There are at least 20 different ways that Christian churches believe how to perform a baptism.
Yeah.
Horrible. Luckily, the rest of the world's religions know who and what the Christian churches are, why they are in place, and who exactly they serve. That was revealed by the head of all Christian churches on earth, the Pope himself.
Ernst, if Christian theologians study a God, but they cannot see this Trinity, church-created God, do you think they or their folks around the world believe in the unseen amongst others, ghosts?
No, Iliska. Maybe a few theologians and a few Christians are psychic like us, but they are not allowed to share information on it, not publicly. If the pastor or the dominee shares something with his wife or so, it's okay, but as soon as he's going to, you will also never see that they read Bible or play from chapters in the Bible in which you can read about ghosts and stuff that. They never
They
read
got
from
that
it.
out.
Yeah, they're not even allowed to mention the unseen in dimension 4 or in any other dimension. Can you still remember why? Because they will be taken off the podium and never be allowed to
Against
do
the
church
rules of the
again because
luminaries.
they don't believe in it. The only thing or the only entity that in the unseen that they believe in is who? The Trinity God.
Yes, that, yeah.
But the rest, I mean, if you
Satan
even
himself.
see if they paint a picture of Jesus, I mean, so really, the scriptures tells us that what he was and that he never cut his hair. So after 33 years of not even cutting the tips of the hair, his hair should have hanged on his lower back, That is one. His beard would have been there. So I don't know where they got the pictures from, but I can assure them this is not. And I mean, all the scriptures guarantee that he had long honey blonde hair with heavenly blue eyes, and he was about 6 to 8 inches higher, in length than the average Jews of his time. So how they can picture him with brown eyes or whatever, I mean, really?
And if I'm not mistaken, on the internet, if you go and search the real image of Jesus as they are, it's a Gregorian, I'm not sure what his name is, but it will appear immediately and show you whose face is actually used.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
wow,
not
if
even
you
his
can
face,
astral and you are so lucky to to make contact with him, to see what he looks like, but none of us can vibrate so high that we can look into that realms.
Yes.
They can come down
Yeah, yeah.
and they can lower their realms, but I've never been so lucky in my life before.
Yeah.
With other Hefkenabs and gods and stuff, yes, but not with him.
Aaron, will you please remind the viewers where Dimension 4 is?
With pleasure, Kabosi, with pleasure. Dimension 4 is known as the crossing over dimension. Dimension 4 vibrates just a little bit higher than our Dimension 3. What's its name? Tum. T-U-M. If you can astral project out of your body, you should know what Dimension 4 looks like. This is usually the dimension you, as an astral yogi, find yourself in the first time you master astral projection. Always a double vision. You can see this realm, and you can see also a sub-dimension of Dimension 4, which vibrates 109.109.
Yes.
Yeah. Everything in Dimension 4 that we can see vibrates at 109.909 Hertz frequency. Our dimension vibrates at 108.108 Hertz frequency. Dimension 4 is the dimension in which you will see ghosts as earthbound human souls, copies of happenings, astral yogis, etc., etc. It all depends on where you tap in, or where, if you astral, what is the vibration of you as a consciousness giving life form, where you are going to fit in or not. Yeah, people, let's start with ghosts. Ooh. No, this is not what a ghost is really all about. What is a ghost? A ghost is what psychics can feel, see, hear, and encounter with, which non-psychics cannot see or interact with. It's actually so simple to explain it. You cannot see or interact in any other dimension with any other vibrating consciousness life form if you cannot adjust your vibration. I mean, an ordinary human soul vibrates average at 50 Hertz frequency. This is average. I mean, if we all are human souls, you can vibrate, let's say 75, you can vibrate 25, I can vibrate 50, and you can vibrate something else. So you need to study this kind of stuff, before you can do it successfully and without any major risks of not coming back or something. There's actually a whole cosmic law, the laws of Vorosela, which I don't think you will get it on internet. We channeled it through, and it's actually, if you go according to the laws of Vorosela, you cannot make a mistake. And if some of you need it, you can write to me at my email address and I will send it to you. Not a problem. Now, yeah, what can you tell me about? Oh, yes, and of course, if I want what we usually do, and for you outside there, it's also very interesting. You will always see a real psychic. Well, day or night, you will walk with the head a little bit bended forward. Never like this. This is how we should walk, straight up. But why did they learn us to walk up straight if no walking up straight person is psychic?
Yeah, so you're not
You have got your own first set of senses.
Yes.
You've got the Mageda eyes or irises
Yeah.
through which you look when your eyes is closed, but you will not see something now. I need to adjust
Yes.
my own. Now you know what is going to happen if I let the vibrations of, in other words, I relax totally,
Yeah.
so that I will come to a point where I cannot even breathe. I don't need to breathe. You know, it's like you're awake, but
Yes.
you don't breathe.
Mm.
And then you're ready to depart, you know, from your body or tap in somewhere, close the eyes. But you can see always if psychics will walk slightly head bended, because if you look at me like this, now I'm looking, or I look you straight in the eyes, but look now, what's happening? The eye is moving, or the irises is moving a little bit upwards, and you do it until where you can experience a slight feeling of, there's a, like a, what can we call that? A border or something.
Yes, you.
Now, as soon as you cross that border, you will see what you're supposed to see according to what your you as a consciousness, soul, beings, vibration frequency is, and the others that you see there. All of them in Dimension 4 doesn't vibrate the same. That is why you can sit here, and if I'm now in astral form, I will see this, but slightly in another color sensation, and of course it's obvious I will recognize somebody sit here that I know cannot sit here
Yeah,
in
yeah.
reality. So this is what you experience there. What about the public out there? What experiences did you had of any ghosts or whatever before you knew of better?
I mean, I was still young, a young child. I mean, I would think I was about 7. My nephews and nieces would always take me to the graveyard and ask me where is a ghost. And when I say there's one, and I look back, there's no one, and I'm just standing alone, and all these people is standing all around me, and I'm actually alone. All the people that supposed to be with me, it's real, is gone.
Yeah.
So
You know, and before you share whatever you want to share with us and our friends out there, me and Cabos, years and years back, we didn't present ghost tours, but we were the informers. You know, if a ghost tour is there for an hour and a half before the ghost tour start, I was the person and him to educate the people who's going to be part of the ghost tour on how to cover themselves up with white light. What would they feel if they walk and something do this? What is it? You know, is now a ghost, whatever, how to see what and what and what. And a lot of those stuff were broadcast over radio. And one of the radio personnel, which were actually there with us, he was amazed because for the first time in his life, he found it a ghost tour number one, because now he actually discovered that he was psychic himself.
Yeah.
And this was so awesome. You know, so what can you share with the people out there?
I think as a younger child, as I said, there was a lot, but if I can refer to a certain premises to which we stayed on a farm, there was a few happenings there. I know there's a background. I think it's also that ghosts with backgrounds that we're going to
Yes.
discuss now. So, for instance, there was a very long halls in the house, and I hear my mother calling, and I see her walking down the hall, and I follow. And when I come there, there's no one in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah, that
She's
is-
in another room. There was also a the
What did you
person's
do? All the hair stood on one.
yeah, it's quite wow. Because
you
you see
out
the
there-
figure everything walking, but there's a few happenings. There was
Yeah.
a very young boy also, but he was very aggressive. He was attacking one at night. I couldn't he didn't want to sleep without the TV on.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
I would, if the TV was, its volume was too
High.
soft
Down.
for him, he will turn it up. And the previous people that were staying there were actually, they were breeding with doves and flying them and everything. And that person that stayed there and his wife, I saw them also at the corner of the room when I had some chicken babies. It was a big room with glass and everything, and at night I can walk. I would wake up, and I would see them standing and staring them at the small birds and so on. So so it's like they're still living there, still earthbound, going on like that. But you could see they find the small chicks. It's like a soothing for them, because they were in their time when they lived there. They were busy with flying doves and stuff like that.
That is awesome, yeah.
Yeah, so there's different kinds of, I would say, ghosts there. And the other one was a soldier in a red medical suit, but he didn't have a head. He was beheaded. My mother saw him also there. It's like he's standing with his head
So your
in his
mother
arms.
is also psychic.
So she,
Wonderful.
that was one also. So that was a place that we stayed in that had a lot of them.
And
lot
you,
of them.
Liska?
I once slept in a house where I woke up from somebody that walked in the hallway, and when I got there, there was nobody. And then I thought they were going to make coffee, but when I came to the kitchen, there was nobody there. But I heard the cups and everything tingle together, and the kettle started to boil and everything, but there was nobody there.
And
So-
what did you do? Did you become fearful or?
I think it's a weird feeling. You feel strange when you're in
But
the
you don't
company.
feel frightened or so.
No, it
It's
wasn't.
because you can see them, that's why. You know, people out there, if I can share an ancient wisdom
Oh.
secret regarding ghosts. A ghost, all depending on what it is, but a lot of time people will see a demonic entity
Yes, yeah.
for a ghost. You
Yes,
know, it's
yeah,
actually
yeah.
a demonic entity, but they will see, they will think it's a ghost. So, to be safe, never ever fear. Because if you fear, it's like attracting that
Yes,
thing. You know, they
yeah.
don't like fearful people. So, yeah. You know, this is why I'm going to share ancient wisdom secrets with you, our viewer friends. Another secret.
Oh.
If you are psychic and you see a human soul, this is very important. Must listen carefully. It's very important. If you are psychic and you see a human soul dwelling or haunting in a house or in a field, in a business, a barn, or wherever, do the following test. Greet the ghost.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but
Yeah, no.
you know, there's a lot of cases that I know of where, let's say, a lady will appear there, now she's walking here, and now she's vanishing. You know, something like that. If you see something like that, say hi.
Yes.
If that spooky whatever greets you back, you know it is a real earthbound spirit. If it doesn't look back, what then? Okay. So, even if the ghost only looks in your direction after you greeted him or her, you know, even if I'm now the ghost and I'm walking, you say hi and I do this.
Yes.
I'm not a ghost. I am an earthbound spirit in that case.
Yes.
If nothing happens and it's like a dead, you
Yeah,
know,
it's just-
the abstract
Yeah.
expression, here I go and then now I vanish.
Mm.
That is something else.
Ernst, I've read in your books on ghosts, etc., that there are more than one type of ghosts. How many types of haunting ghosts do you know of?
Nikita, there are about 8 main types of ghosts that I know of. I'm going to start over the first type, to which I refer as a caritas. Kabousa will exactly know what a caritas is, but let me talk straightforward. A caritas, they usually, well, let's see where they come from. They usually lived in harmony and were good persons when they lived inside the human bodies appointed to them. They were good people towards other people. Now, why would they be earthbound? You'll see later. They don't leave cold spots where they dwell. You know, it's more a fact of you. When me and Cabos go to haunted houses and stuff like that to clarify it and heal it properly, we usually see. I usually ask in advance, how many people are here in this house at this moment? Now they will tell me it's only me and her husband and our little daughter. Now I'm wandering off in the corridor and there sits an old lady on the bed and I greet, good afternoon, and she will be knitting, for instance, look up and do this. And when the person asked me, who did you greet now? I said, I will describe it. It's my late mum, you know, something like that. They cannot see it. But that late mum, to me, she was, it's not something that I saw and, you know, something is not lekker. Yeah, you get goose pimples and cold, whatever, never. They look as if they stay in the house, which they actually do. Now, they don't know they died. That is fact number 3. They do not know they are dead. You know, it's very, for me, it's hard to explain what does the term actually means in reality. Time are standing still for those people. The only thing they can remember is just before they died. They don't know they are dead. The most beautiful example you can think of is to see the movie The Sixth Sense. You know that one? I'm seeing dead people, that little movie. It is so full of wisdom. You cannot, if you want to know what, I call that man maybe a Caritas, because he didn't know, and wherever he was, he didn't leave cold spots, etc. Now, you know, the writer, the script writer of that movie, he must know what we know. Otherwise, why did he did it in that way? He must be able, he didn't listen to other, he saw. Maybe he was the little Satan boy, you know. Time came to a standstill for them. You know, somewhere along the line I heard about here in South Africa now, about the ghost of Uniondale. A woman, when you ride, she had an accident there. Now, at a certain time of night, if you go past there, you will just see a lady hiking, and when you ask her where she was going, she will climb in, and the next moment she's gone. It repeats. She will take a lift until where she feels it's not a comfort zone. She will get out of the car. She don't need to open the door. She goes straight through it and walk back to where they are there at the accident scene once again. So that will be repeated over and over and over again. Their sudden death was too sudden for them to realize that they are without a physical body. That is also that you, even only at the end of that movie, you will see that guy remembered his wedding ring. Very awesome movie to watch. Now, other Caritas died or soul transferred. I prefer the term soul transferred. You don't die. The body to which you give consciousness to die. You don't die. You never die unless the Most High kill you or demons eat you up or so. But are earthbound due to their non-belief attitude in the afterlife. You know, people out there, and you three, he knows, and you three also know it. It doesn't matter what people believe. Reality is in place. You can believe in whatever you want to believe in, but reality, you know, there's an old joke where there was a drought in the country and all the people came together to pray for rain. There was one guy, he was wise, and he said, you can pray as you wish, but the wind is blowing in the wrong way. You know, you can believe. If you pray, this and this will happen. If you don't know how deity and the gods work or operate,
Yes.
you are going to live in a fool's paradise.
Yeah.
And the only way to, you must actually not even believe what we tell you. You must go to the books, study them, become like us, which you can do in a very short time, and go and see for yourself. This is
Yes.
what Paramis is for.
Exactly.
Don't believe, go and see. We
Yeah,
teach
it's
you to go and see for yourself.
Exactly.
Don't believe what we are. It's interesting to listen to us, but don't believe it because we are telling it. Never believe if you're not able to go and see for yourself. So the Ramis Tower of Light educate you in the books and
Help.
courses how to do it. Actually, course 1, spiritual meditation. You can do 360 million other spiritual meditations. If you're not going to use that one, you're not going to break through the veil you're supposed to break through. So remember, it's interesting what we are telling you, but it's better for you to practice. Maybe in the first few months or so you're going to be able to see in the other dimensions. You will be able to rise and lower your own vibrations as well as that of your body, and all of a sudden you are going to realize, listen, what is this? This is not what I see every day.
Yeah.
And usually you get startled and you get back in your own body if you are now trying to astral or so. And at the second stage you will maybe look back, and I promise you what you see lying there, your own body, doesn't look well. So the third time you will not look back, you will just go according to the rules or the laws of Orosela, and you will return safe. But it's the only thing, not only to learn to astral, but to meditate
Yes.
in the correct way so that you can, it's like a telephone number you dial to make contact to the Most High and the light side realms, no other place. Now this souls, this earthbound souls, they still radiate their unglorified vibrations wherever they want. And you know what? You can believe if you die you will rest in the grave until the, you know, some other thing happens. But I can promise you the day you die, or if you can master astral projection, you are going to say, oh, well, there's my body now. Okay, this is me. Everything is kind of crossed over. You know, what is right is now left or whatever, but you get used to it.
Yes.
And now you're going to see, oh, I better start learning what's really happening after death, because the only thing that keeps me with that body is a small little cord, a
Yes.
silver string something. I know it's like a navel string, you know, when you are born, that little
Yeah.
something like that. But if you then die and you didn't believe properly, or you were not in any way connected with a real God and a light side God, you don't want to mess up with fallen Efkanams and stuff like
Yes.
that. So now they are earthbound, but it doesn't worry them because they don't know better. You know, so they will be there. But there are certain stuff that I don't like about them, and they are unglorified vibrating. Why? Because if you you die, let's say the body of flesh to which you give consciousness to die, you cross over to another dimension, which is here. You can feel those people. They are just only their eyes cannot see them, but they are still here, although they could be in Boatse or whatever.
Yes.
So, you know, like also in the movie The Sixth Sense, where that little boy told his mother they are being held up in this queue of motor or traffic
Yes.
due to an accident that
Yeah.
took place, and she asked him, how do you know? there's a person dead. How do you know? That person is standing next to you, and the mother looked and she couldn't see it, but the little boy could see.
Yes.
That is unglorified. If a person is glorified directly after the soul departed from the body, it will not look like that. It will look like an angelical being radiating. You know, it will look normal. My late mom had a glass eye, for instance. She was 80 years of age, arthritis, stuff like that. And she walked like this. And when she visited me once after she soul departed, I had to kiss her in that state just to make sure it was her. Because no glass eyes, a perfect woman. She was actually younger than I ever saw while she was alive. You know, I was a late one, the last one for old time's sake or whatever. Although we were only 2 children. But yes, so they will transfer their illnesses of which they soul transferred to a member or members of the house in which they haunt. To make it more easily understandable, we often go to a haunted house or where witchcraft is being practiced or whatever, or under a witchcraft spell, and then it's very easy to go and lie in one of the rooms, you know, where you feel uncomfortable, and just relax. Your lungs will start to itch inside, for instance, and you know, okay, lung diseases. Maybe your fingers will start paining within seconds, and you know, okay, arthritis or something, or your tummy or your bowel or something. You know, you can feel.
Yeah.
Now, if you sleep there, what's going to happen to your body?
Yeah.
I mean, people call me, I've got a little boy, it's 5 years old, and since we moved into this house, the child suffers from depression, for instance. Now we go there and we can feel there is a Solera demon present, so Ratola and whatever the house, and after a week or so you phone the person, how's the kid? No more any of the other stuff, it's now gone. So this is what a Kareta do, which I don't like. If they don't spread their diseases, it's fine. But if they walk here unglorified and they died of cancer or something weird, I mean, we don't want that radiation vibrations to affect us and give us those illnesses. They can move objects in a house where they haunt. They can really. They can do it. They will not throw stuff around normally, but they will take this little bell icon and they will put it there.
Yes.
You know, now you remember, I'm not mad, I put it here. Where is it now?
what knows
Who
that?
put it
Yeah.
there? You know, nobody knows. You check the cameras and you can just see, oh, there's a figure taking the Karetas and put it there. So now you know what's going on in some of your houses. Psychics can see them, but they don't bother the residents of the house with bother the residents of the house with terrifying radiation vibrations. You know, it's not a case that where you go, oh, what the cat walked over my grave or something. No, it's not something like that. You see them if you are psychic, but you will not be afraid of them. Do you understand what a Karetas is, and will you be able to recognize one if you have one in your houses? You three will. I hope you people out there also. Non-Karetas, number 2, the second type of ghost. Oh, people, they leave cold spots. It's just the opposite of the Karetas.
Yeah.
It's the non-Karetas. The name actually tells you it's everything the opposite of a Karetas.
Yes,
So
yeah.
these people, they leave cold spots. In other words, if I'm now the ghost and I'm sitting here, all three of you are going to say, yes, what the hell is wrong, you know?
Yeah.
It's the air. Well, why is it so cold in this specific spot? And it's not lekker. They lived a horrible life on earth. You know, the dreaded father or husband, the dictator of the family. We also refer to them as rutokas. A rutokas is a loud earth-bound human soul. This is now the guy, you know, a lot of people, rutokas actually means a noisy earthbound soul. It is not a copy of something that took place. They lived like that. In other words, when they come to the house, where's my coffee? You know, throw things around. They don't open a cupboard. Sorry. They will force it open. You will just see knives and forks and everything. And when you come in there, you know, you will kick, let's say, a cooking pot or something over the floor, you know.
Yeah, aggressive.
Very aggressive. And a lot of people will think it's a poltergeist. It's not. This is not a poltergeist at all. Yeah, they were non-believers in the afterlife and became furious when their soul transferred, or when their soul transferred and find themselves earthbound. I mean, on earth they lived a dictator kind of life. Now it's after death, or the body died, they can do nothing about that, and now after a few days or weeks or so, they become furious. They become, you know, I don't even want to mention this one. Forgive me for bringing it up and then forget about it once again, but the family still lives and I don't want to. Let me tell you another one. I knew a person who, he didn't believe. He cursed the Most High on his name. And this person became so demonic possessed that after his death, even in the church where we put him to rest, or you know, where the funeral took place from, he slammed the doors, the inside doors, although there were no winds. And we asked, you know, the guys afterwards, was it him? And they said yes. When he had the time to speak and to learn, he didn't want. Now he's furious because he cannot turn back time. He cannot turn back the hands of time, and that makes them furious. Sometimes it is difficult for me and Kabosi to identify them because their haunting actions are the same as poltergeist activities and or demonic entities. Now their radiation vibration is absolutely terrifying. It is, you know, when you don't even have to see it. Let's say you just think you saw something and you get that ice cold, not a goosebump effect. It is as if your whole body turned ice cold. It's one of those things, and you don't like that. The actions in the house they haunt include pulling off blankets from sleeping people. Can you imagine? Well, I studied a lot of video materials on this, which were caught on night vision cameras while the people were sleeping. It's actually horrifying to watch those stuff and to realize, you know, we know it's reality, but people who live there, they don't even feel it. This non-Caretas will be throwing knives at people who lives in such a house and terrifying the residents of the house. They throw furniture around in the house. They haunt. They will. It looks. Their house will look. You know what it looks like when you was there.
Yes.
Everything in a mess.
Yeah.
You know, they have no order. They have nothing. This stands there and this must be like this. No. The one day the shoes is there, the next day it's outside. The day after it is somewhere in the garden, something like that. It's horrible. But in any case, they just keep on living as
Yeah.
before. You know, and now the horrible thing of all, they have their own demons with them. I told you about Dark Ghost Dennis, the presenter. You can easily go into Dark Ghost, Paranormal, Dark Ghost. There's a lot of sites.
Yeah, yes.
But on the movies, you know, the video movie clips about 15 to half an hour in length. There you can see, but you cannot see with this eyes. And on the video, not only the video material, the voice phenomena,
Yeah.
which take place through a ghost box. The demon that caused those people to be non-believers or to be aggressive persons, you know, who shared his body with him,
Yes.
will all be
There.
with him there in that haunted house. That is all together which gives you that ice cold feeling. Now sometimes people see them staring at them at night or see their reflection in mirrors. Yeah, you know people, a mirror is a mirror, and you've learned about it in previous programs, the portals to the bad side of the afterlife, if I
Yeah.
could say it like that. But if you take a mirror like this, and especially old mirrors, you know, I've got black mirror, everything we need, but it's been paratosa, and you need about 5 or 10 different mantras to recite over it before it will open. But you know, if you can have a little yellow mirror or so, just don't look straight in it like this. But you can do this, you know, like a car side mirror, look, do this. And if there's something behind you, it should, if the vibration is right, you will see it in the mirror. And they spread their personality and illnesses around. You know, people living in a haunted house like that, where such a non-courageous, aggressive one lives, all the children become like that. They scream if they cannot get what they want. They will hit the mom and dad. They will,
Yeah.
no, it's horrible. Now, yeah, what do I mean if I say they spread their personality and illnesses around? I think I've said enough about it. Is there anything you would like to know or don't know?
I think their radiation vibration in that house, the people who stays in that house isn't shielded, so they take on that radiation vibration, and these demons affects them as well.
Thank you so much, Iliska. What she just said is actually, it's so important, because if you are not protected or shielded in the right way from the inside out with purest white light, you are in for big trouble. Then that stuff will definitely have an effect on you. You will still see it after you are being shielded, and you will experience it, but then you can throw a knife, it will kind of bounce, it will miss you all the way. Ask me, I know about it. Are you finished?
Yes,
Thank you, Liska. Anybody else want to say anything?
No.
Which
Got
brings
it all,
us
Hans.
by ghost number
3.
which we call
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist, the Ritokas, and there are many other names. Even this non-Caretas could go through as what was the word I used? A noisy spirit. Kabosi can tell you a lot about poltergeist. I think Nikita and Iliska too. Kabosi, what can you, Nikita and Iliska, remember about poltergeists? Are they human created?
Yes.
Exactly.
They are human created.
Why do you say that?
Normally by a house, there's normally a big tree. If you go to the big tree and you smell by the roots of the tree,
But you must, yeah.
there's a smell of, it's like a rotten smell, a
Yes.
decaying smell.
I know you know your work. You don't even have to tell them. What do you know about the poltergeist? Have you ever experienced something like that?
We experienced it at one house, me and Tikita, one time, and all the signs it left, for example, a puddle in the bathroom. That puddle of water stayed there the whole time, even though that people cleans their house extremely well.
Yeah.
So the fact that there's a puddle of water there the whole time shows it's one sign.
You're absolutely correct. Let me fill in. As Kabosi said, it is, the whole thing that you experience is set up by a person. Now, in the house, let's say this is now the house. Now, somewhere outside this house, near to one of the entrances, there should be a very big tree. And as Kabosi said, if you're going to smell the roots of the tree, if it is a poltergeist, that root will smell a kind of
Moldy.
Yes, that's a correct word. Thanks. Right, the roots of the tree will smell, and it's. I mentioned a musty also flavor. What does it cause? Let's say a father and his daughter are driving on their bicycles, and it's becoming now, it's a very good relationship between the father and the daughter, or the father or the son, or whatever. But now they go and the one just died. The father, let's say it's been hit by a car and he died on the spot.
Yeah.
That traumatic thing that the child, let's say it was a teenager, a lady, the trauma that she experienced during that accident, she is the one who's going to create this poltergeist. Why? Well, when will it take place? Normally, if that, I'm just taking an example, but let's keep to the example of the young teenage girl. If she is getting that, what do you call it, the monthly
Menstrual
circulation,
The menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
thank you, the
Yes.
menstrual cycle. If it is that time of the month and she is sitting, I'm going to mimic it now. They will sit like this. The mouth is open.
Yeah.
You can see they are gone. They're not even in the bodies. The blood, everything there is there, and the smell that you got from the root of the tree, if you go from, let's say, room to room in that
Yeah, you can
house,
smell it
the
in the
room
rooms.
where that teenage girl, which is her room, you will smell it. In the
Yeah.
cupboards everywhere, so that there's the one sleeping here is the one that's creating this poltergeist. Now what else do we need? The womanly cycles or the menstrual cycle? Anger. She must be angry.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't have to be a teenager or so. It could be, let's say, a woman who's sexually, she doesn't get enough, if I can. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for my bad English, but it's the only thing I know. In other words, she's sexually frustrated.
Yes.
The same can happen. The mind automatically will go to create something that can frighten other people or whatever. So there must be anger. They will stack, a poltergeist will stack furniture up. You will go out to the bathroom or to the kitchen in this case, and when you come back within a minute, all the chairs will be piled up in one section, stuff like that. Or all the cupboards will be open, and knives usually are being thrown around. And then the other thing is the water puddles that Scott spoke about, yes. And rotten meat, we went to houses where real poltergeists was active, luckily we was successful in get rid of them. But in any case, the woman will show you. She opens the deep freeze. She takes out, you can see it's solid frozen chicken. Put it there, close the thing, look back, rotten. You cannot believe it if you don't see it.
Yes.
The first time I saw it, I thought, no, this cannot be possible. And like she said, you can sit here and now there's a puddle of water
Yeah.
on the floor. Where the hell did it come from?
Yeah, and there's no way that they.
There's no way.
Yeah, we actually learned and noticed it in different days actually,
Mm.
and
Yes.
that smell also
Oh,
in specific
it's
spots.
horrible.
Yeah.
And throwing the stuff around us, or throwing around stuff in the house, stacking furniture. What does a real poltergeist look like and smell like? Okay, you mentioned it. And then can a poltergeist kill you? Now, before I go on, I would like to share the following with you out there as well. You know what? There are so many poltergeists in the world. We don't know everything. Let me take one where we went to. I would like to share this one to you because it's written in one of my books, Book 3, A Look into the Unseen. We went to this specific house and the astral yogi Floranza, Willie Swartz, he lie down on the carpet in one of the rooms and he went out of his body. And the next moment he was starting to levitate. And what can I do? Put my hand in,
Yeah,
push him
just
back
push
to
him
the
down.
ground. After the third time, because I want, you know, if I touch his body, I can sometimes see through his eyes what is he seeing.
Yes.
But now up goes the body and now I must press it down. I must start focusing from the beginning or from the start.
Yeah, yeah.
So after the third time or so, Floranza woke up and he said, don't push me down. It's only a vortex which are created by this poltergeist. I said, okay. And I left him. But when he levitated about near to the ceiling, I got hold of him and I pushed him back slowly again. After which he awoke. He came to himself and he said to me, you know what, this thing is longer than 8 feet. Its torso above is in the ceiling, above the ceiling.
Yo.
This is how big the anger was in that little girl.
Yeah.
Now there are other ways of poltergeist also, and it's actually, you know, each and everything. You cannot kill or take away poltergeist by ratolaing the house. There's other stuff that you must do. And very few people are aware that there are actually help out there.
Oh, yeah.
Anything you need to know more about a poltergeist? Sure? 1, 2, 3, bang. Right, copies of activities, which is also a kind of a ghost. If you see a ghost but the ghost ignores you, or you greet him or her and they don't greet back, you can be sure that you are dealing with a copy. A copy is usually what happened in on a field or in a house or whatever. You know, let's say a person was not very bright up here due to possession or something, and it was so in a routine. You know, you must be possessed to be in such a routine that you never do something else. It's wake up, go to the toilet, do your little thing, put the gown on, walk closed eyes to the kitchen, put on the kettle,
Yeah.
take off to jugs or whatever, prepare the coffee, go to the kitchen, you know,
Yeah,
in the
it's like a
kitchen,
zombie.
whatever, it's like a zombie. Now, if such a person dies and they are not, they were not prepared to cross over to the right side, you know, now they are earthbound, and what will you hear? Fuck, there back door goes open again.
Yes.
Okay, now it's going to be
Strange
the
things
kitchen. Okay, this, but if you stand there, you can see nothing. Sometimes, and that is what is hateful, a copy will be heard, it will not be seen. So if you see,
Yeah.
there goes the cupboard, it's not a copy of activity, this is real. You are dealing here with an entity that's aware of you,
Yes.
as well as you are aware of him. So a copy will start walking at one point and usually vanish out of sight at another point. There's a lot of video material on the internet available, and on YouTube especially, where you can actually, if you at YouTube, you can put in poltergeist. Okay, those people doesn't always categorize the right thing, you know. They will see a talkcast, for instance, and they will say it's a poltergeist.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. It still is a noisy
Yeah.
activity. But if nothing, you only hear the stuff, you cannot see doors opening or closing. That is actually real copies of happenings. I looked at one video that were taken. The person took a video. It was late at night. There was a cannon that they used in some other war or something. And you can actually see a transparent soldier. You can see the helmet on the head, you know, the hat, whatever. You can see it's an English soldier, and you can see him walking around. That is not a copy, that is him, because he's, you know, he's not. He will go there and he will walk around this thing. It's not the same thing all over again. But if you sit there on a haunted field and you, when I do the program, I did it already on demons, you know, on demonology. I will mention that one. It is so awesome if you walk on a specific, let's say, land where a huge war took place. You will get the most frightening feeling here. It is as if you are possessed. You know, it's like migraine attacking. It's not migraine. It is a copy that's actually there. And because it was so wild, you know, and so full of blood, and so many people died there, it takes longer for that copies. I mean, you can get a copy that happened thousands of years ago, you will still see the copies, all depending on how serious it was. Right. What you also see is blobs of figures still wandering war fields. A black blob coming up and move a little bit, and then, but you know, I wish I could teach you how to see ghosts and so, but just a quick reminder, if you stand in a neatly laid out war cemetery, and there are gravestones or tombstones up, you must pick actually the night when the moon is full, and take a graveyard where you can see if the moon is there, it's coming up there, and all the shadow or the tombstones is in this direction. In which direction will the shadow fall? 45 degrees to there. You will see how many lie differently. And then if you go and you walk slowly and use your hands, you will feel that one that is active is warm, the rest are cold. So then you know, there's lots of things, but it's so interesting. And then copies during which real demonic thoughts became real demonic haunt forms. This is actually horrible. You know, I knew a lady, she and her husband lived in a very a beautiful part of Bloemfontein, and shame, man, she was robbed there in daylight time. You know, and those people have all the equipment, it's security cameras,
Yeah.
it's alarm systems, and when she looked up, there were 3 people robbing her. And at first she thought they were going to rape her, which luckily they didn't do because it was not of her own kind people. It was
Yes.
other nationalities.
Yes.
But in any case, the trauma was so bad that they moved to another farm of theirs to stay there. And she said if she only thinks of that house, cold sweat will be on her face. They are going to sell the place. I said, no, don't do that. Let's call the dragons. They are, do you know them? Seated
yes,
dragons,
seated
yes. There's a way to call them and they will eat away the memories. And me and Kabos went to that place and we did everything we could. And also we called the Seated dragons. In my language, Afrikaans, it is Seater, but you spell it the same way, S-E-T-E-R, and then dragons. We did that, and we actually put a challenge to her to go in there, but we wanted to go in there at night. She must put you whatever. Long story short, she went in there and never again. Sweat came out on her face, or she was afraid, or so. The copies of what you could feel there. You know, if a person was murdered in a house, we can feel it. If you go in there, you can immediately feel. Even a year or 10 years after the person was murdered, you can, even if you took it away, you help it over to the other side, you will still feel that it needs something else, like the Seated dragons and other stuff. Next one is demonic hauntings. Ooh. What do you know about demonic hauntings? Can a demon haunt? Of course he can. Now, for those people who still doesn't believe in ghosts of all kinds, do yourself a favor and get a night vision camera that will only respond on movement. A camera can see what we cannot always see with our naked eyes. Baby cams in babies' rooms have startled a lot of Western mothers who also didn't want to believe in ghosts and demons. We showed one of those in one of the previous video programs. Yes. Now, yeah. Wildlife motion and or night vision cameras have caught hundreds of new life forms not previously discovered by scientists. Can you imagine that? Just get the picture in your mind. Wildlife motion cameras, night vision cameras. I mean, you put it there. This is a tree trunk. You put it there. You go away. The nearest person is 300 kilos away from there. And the next day when you arrive there and you check the video, hey, what is this now? New life forms. And people are not aware of it, but there are 3-dimensional demonic entities that you can see with your 3-dimensional eyes. People doesn't really want to accept it, but wait until we come to that video. There's about, I think it's 9 different third-dimension demonic entities that we are going to discuss, so don't miss out on it.
So excited.
Right, we are planning a series of at least 20 full programs on paranormal activities and the clarifying of it. The clarifying part does not exist in paranormal activity programs currently on television, and or what me and Kabos studied so far. This will be a first, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, normally I appreciated what other psychics do, but I mean, they are not really, in all cases, they are not real psychics. They are not spiritual. So those people are getting more possessed than any other time in their lives, and scratched and whatever. And all that input for the output of giving the owner of the house or the premises the answer he already knows. Yes, hereby we can confirm that this house is haunted. What? I mean, the owner of the property already knew it. That is why he called you
Yes.
people, not to say to make him feel better, because other people can also, if his whole household knows it's like that. You know, so if me and Cabos go to a place to, haunted place or whatever, to be clarified, and we come out there, it normally takes, we give the owner 7 days or so, but normally the next day, you can feel the difference on the spot. You can, you know, and then we also have our forms that we fill in with all. Let's say you people out there give me a horrible house to investigate, which I will appreciate.
Oh,
I
yes.
love it. And I will ask you, you know, stuff like, why do you say the place is haunted or whatever? You must give me a list of what you or somebody in the house experienced there. And then I will do my little thing, me and Cabos, and we will see if what you say is correct. And if not, we will categorize it. Let's say you say it's a retorkas, but it's not a retorkas, it's something else. There's other spells so that we can do the correct cleaning spell. And after that, I can promise you the house is clear. This is what the world needs, not to be, I mean, as I said, why did they phone those psychic institutes to come and tell them what they already know? No, they must call me so that I can go and clear the place, that people can learn how to clarify these things. Otherwise, what is the need of all these programs? It will cost you a little bit of practice, but I mean, eventually you will get maybe 10% right, the next time 20%. By the 10th time that you try it, it's 100%.
Yeah.
So we are also in the planning stage of a series on ancient alien god cities in South Africa. Now please remember to let us know if you want to be part of any of these 2 projects. Maybe you would like to sponsor it in any way, you know, by, you know how it works out there. And yes, if you want, you can call me, write to me on my email or whatever, if you are in any way you want to be part of this project. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the first. I mean, nobody knows that there's god cities or ruins of them in South Africa. We know of 14 already. So yes, are there 14 in any other country except in Egypt? Maybe not. So even in that field of history, we are the first. So yes, let us know if you're interested. If you watch YouTube programs on paranormal activity investigations by Dark Ghost or Tim Morozov, you are going to see what you never believed in. Please, people, go there and see for yourself. Remember what we said, we are not here to educate you on something that you can sit there and decide, is this program interested or not. What we share with you, we already forgot. So please make this world a better place by learning to see this stuff and get rid of it.
Yes.
Join the parties of the light side, the war parties, and let's join Shiva and all those gods to get rid of all these demons. Yeah, if you see a person-shaped or a person-shaped translucent figure, it most probably be an earthbound human soul. Do you agree? Yep. If you see a rather grey to slightly black translucent figure, there is a chance that this could be a terrifying earthbound human soul or a low-ranking demonic entity. Now, if it is a dark, almost not translucent black human figure or a black mass, It could be a demonic entity or an earthbound human soul struggling to accept his or her fate as an earthbounder. Now it all depends. If it, let's say you there see a big black mass here hanging here, that
Yeah.
is a demonic entity. But if it's got more or less the shape of a person or a human figure or a human-like figure, it could be an earthbounder. Black, misty, half or ball-formed or small dark-formed shapes are also demons in a household. You know, you sit there and you think you see something, but when you look there where you thought you see something, no, it's gone. Now the night vision camera will not capture a radiation vibration, but I can assure you that if you are in the slightest way psychic, you will feel the demonic vibration. If it is a demonic vibration, you will feel it. There will be a chill and what else? A very cold feeling in that specific room. Now demons vary in size, rank, power and shape. Demons will not always answer on a ghost box. You know, they will not. Up to a certain level, smaller in size, power and rank, demons will reply. The language demons of much higher ranks use is called Harega. You will not find it on the internet, maybe in our works on our webpage. But Harega sounds something like, you know, it's a very low creaking. I don't know if a lot of them are chatting at the same time, but it seems like something like that. You know, like a lot of people in lesser distance from you talking all together, you get something like that, but it is a very low rank, a low sound that you hear, and it doesn't make sense. I cannot understand it. They, as demons, can hear us, but cannot communicate back in our languages. And you know, that is one, if that Dark Ghost program person, Dennis, if you are watching, this is why they don't answer your voice in all cases. They cannot, that voice box of yours, or what the ghost box, are programmed with all the languages on earth. That Harega is not one of them, so it will not respond. And unfortunately, but now you've got a reason. You always wondered, now you've got the reason. What do demonic life forms do in a house or in a business or even on a war field where you can feel ropolonsos? You know what a ropolonso is? That it feels like as if you are getting a migraine or something, but it starts here at your back. It is not a life form. It is pain and suffering that forms. It is like pressures in the atmosphere. If you walk there, you will get a. But what will demons do in a house? They want, or in a business?
They want to transgress the cosmic laws.
Yes. They want to let you split up, you and your partner, or make you bankrupt, or whatever. And you know, a lot of, let's call them darksiders here on earth, will go to a witch doctor or a sangoma to get a spell, you know, and all spells are attached to demonic entities. So that they want your business and you don't want to sell, so they put a demon like that in, and it will keep all business away. It will turn people away who want to come to your shop, and unfortunately then it will become bankruptcy time and all that. No. In a household, those of you who don't believe in this stuff, which is quite real, I will once say it again, please learn to see this stuff. We are not here to we share knowledge, but we would like you to be part of us by talking back and tell us your experience. But you cannot if you're not practicing spiritual meditation in order to see on the other side on different dimensions. And it's so easy. Everything is there in course 1. So please do that. What do you think the influence of demonic radiation vibrations will have on the immediate surroundings and life forms? Everything that is negative. Yes, for sure. Okay, what do you remember from Zaria, Keska, Zamaro, and Zolmoro demonic life forms? I say I'm pretending to be very scared, but the eyes are laughing. Oh, hey, I'm not afraid of demons. No. If you know who's with you, and you know what you can do as an instrument in the hands of the Most High, as a soldier for the light side. If you want to start destroying demonic entities, even the god Shiva, and is actually very higher than the god, is the creator Hefkana, will send you assistance, but demon will come near me, and that really, they will automatically, but without my guide, let them to come in, because we cover ourselves up, why would we go there? But what do you remember about the Zaria demon?
It is an example is in Paranormal Activity 1.
Yes. Don't check that video or the movie Paranormal Activity 1. The entity there is what we know as Zaria, one of the very high in the rank demonic entities. It is one of the kinds that it will scratch you with to mark you for future reference, and believe me, it will come back and take over your body and murder through your body or do something very wrong. Keska, Zamaro, and Zolmoro demons, older than us, almost as old as the earth itself. Keska, Zamaro, and Zolmoro demons were on earth before Enoch of the Bible, and he described them in his writings. So there are two different Enochs in the Bible. I'm referring to the good one, not the bad one. Oh, I don't like the bad one. Now in the books of Enoch, he refers to and describes 3-dimensional demonic life forms visible to the human eyes. Now, I wonder if one of you out there have ever seen a demon that you can see with your human eyes. In other words, you see a demon and you can go and call all the people of the house and they will see it too. Yeah, there are a lot among us. People just don't want to believe in it, because for them it actually means that some people, let's call it like that, would be classified as demons.
Yes,
People...
definitely.
Yeah, reality is reality. And that picture that we shared, no, we didn't share it with the public, it was a Anunnaki god.
Yes, yeah.
That one, after 12 years, and he wasn't even in a mummy, he looks as if, as if you can kiss him.
Yeah,
if you do this, it will show like this.
And he glows
if there are those kind of hefkenams among us and gods, why will there not be visible demons among us? People just don't want to think of
they don't
it.
want to, they want them.
And I love it. I want to know who I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
When we present the program on third-dimensional visible demons, which will be program O, I will describe the third-dimensional demonic life forms, the few that I know. I think it's about 9 different types, but which look like humans but are not humans. They live in human-like bodies, not human bodies. And in the Bible, even you can read about them, you know, what they do. They are referred to as those who haven't got a God. You know, they're at the steering wheel of their own. They sit, it's horrible, but we'll come to that. It's always lacquer. And thanks for the people who requested a program on demonology. I've compiled a program on demonology just for you. And it will be presented as program S. S, remember? Which brings me to the next part of haunting or ghosts. Hauntings from the past. You know, there was it's actually a fact. Babies and small children can see in other dimensions where most other Western people cannot see into. And then children, you develop as you grow older, but children as teenagers, let's say from the age of 11 until about 17 years of age, they also grew through certain stages where the components, you know, you get more components of that and take away this is not necessary, subcomponents and stuff like that. And I knew about a home, or I know about a home in Bloemfontein. The father was very strict. You know, the children must be in bed during the week because they are in school. They're not allowed to, the lights must be off and everything must be off 9 o'clock. But on a Friday they could stay awake until 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock on a Saturday, after which everything must be off. So I went for a clean up of that house. And there was a lot who needed attention. Through our spiritual guides, they went for a look and they told us there were 9 voortrekkers, you know, from the Oxwagon time, buried there, and another 2 in the corridor or under the corridor. They were there in graves before, hundreds of years before that house was erected on there. And you know, the foundations of a modern house is what, 2 feet or 1 feet or 12 inches. It's about like this. It's not 6'6" under the ground. So it's, you know, you can erect a house on a premises and without knowing it, because you missed the graves, which was the case in that person's case. But in any case, years later, he called me again. Everything was okay except for the child that were, the last time we saw them was about, what, 5 or 6, and now it's about 16 years of age. And he's complaining again, you know, when he's at night, he's not sleeping, but he's listening to his radio, earphones, and then something unseen will turn off the volume or turn it on suddenly. And when he opens his eyes, the cupboard doors are open and stuff like that. And I couldn't feel something horrible. So I went to the board, to the guides, and I said, listen, what can you advise me on this, please? I need to know. And they said, they told me about the graves and that children in a time span of where they call themselves, what is a teenager?
A teenager.
A teenager, thank you. During that stage, they will lock in levels where history are being saved. In other words, those children that were buried there crossed over to the light side years and years ago, but the Compass 7 elements are now wide awake. And they know he can see them. So when is all this taking place? Let's say it's a Saturday night and the lights must be off at 11 o'clock. Then in a normal week, you know, let's say Wednesday, when the lights must be off at 9, between 9 and 11 it will take place. So they join him in his dreams, but as Compass 7 elements. Isn't it beautiful to even know that there exists something like that? To that you don't need to be afraid that it will harm you or anything. But in any case, we took it away, and the boy is now a young man. I think he must be married by this time. Compass 7 elements. A lot of you, I told you what it is, but it's maybe just a skeleton, something in your mind. Remember the basic 4 components: consciousness, giving life form, give consciousness to a human body, are created of the mental body, the etheric body, the astral body, and the Rusala body. If you compare it with computer, it is those 4 main programs which can actually do nothing without all the subcomponents attached to it that you will get as you grow older and need. But when the human body dies, the consciousness giving soul depart permanently from the body. It takes 7 days for the silver cord to loosen completely from the human body. A few subcomponents of each body stays behind until the 7 days are expired. It can be seen and feel by psychics. A big part of the Rusala body stays in the grave with the decomposing body. Have you ever watched those programs where they do research on decomposed bodies?
Yeah.
It is so interesting,
It
but
is.
I think to work with it, you should get used to, if you are not used to it, you know. Like people get very afraid when they see ghosts. What for us it's part of reality. We see it every day, you know. So why will we now be afraid to see a body busy decomposing?
Yeah,
It's just the body.
just a vehicle.
It's not. And it's actually nice, you know, to know why. A lot of people think worms and stuff come from outside. You know, the human body are created at a certain temperature. The cells, which will then be dead, at that specific temperature in your body, the cells will start creating, what do you call it, maggots. And this is where it comes from. So it is so, you know, I always see the creating Hefkanam, who created this body, how it should work, how it's going to decompose. So that is why some people do not decompose. They are in a layer of ground where the temperature is just perfect. You know, scientists don't even know this stuff, not all of them in any case, but the form of the Rusala body resembled the state of the decomposed body in the grave. Oh, I saw it twice in my life when I was very small, and yeah, it made a permanent impression. The Rusala subcomponents have changed also and are referred to now as astral caps. Now, after the dead body has decomposed so that the skeleton, the hair and the nails are left in the grave, we don't refer to the Rusala body or the astral cap anymore. It has changed again to become a Compass 7 element. A Compass 7 element will stay silent in the grave for centuries until somebody erects a house or business on that grave, or over that grave, or in the vicinity of that grave, or let loud noises be heard from a premises there, and all hell will break loose. I know what I know and worked within this regard in the past. What can you three tell me about, especially problems that you can expect when erecting a premises? Let's make it ancient Indian graveyard. What can you expect? Nikita, before you say it, this you know from previous programs, which gives consciousness to this body. It's not human soul alone, it's an Indian. A red Indian, oh, and I'm so proud she's from Order 6, eh?
19.
or 9 order 9 of the Indian creator so-like forms, if I can. And I promise you, she is great. So what can you expect? Will you erect a house on an Indian burial ground?
No, I don't. I will have too much respect in the first place, but yeah, considering how they were basically killed and wiped the whole races, you can just imagine what would stay behind after an happening like that. It's a sudden.
I don't even want to think
like-
of it. I saw a few films, movies on
Yeah,
it, and that was horrible.
It's horrible. Yeah.
But you know what? There's a lot of different tribes or nations or whatever of Indians out there. But if you listen or watch this program, remember all 4 of us, we love you.
Yes.
Because we know that red Indians are by far more psychic than any other humanity on earth. That's a fact. Then comes the yellow nations, and then comes the white nations. So as for my own guide, one of my guides is he's a Siberian red Indian, but the best doctor in herbs through all the ages up to now. There's never been a better one. So I think you can understand why we have a love for you people. And the love is based in respect.
Yes.
Because there's nothing a red Indian ever said that placed me in a discomfortable position. In fact, if I look at the history, what the Western white people did to them, no, I'm on their side, sorry. That I know history must happen, but the way it happened was not right. But in any case, we love you all out there, and we will never, out of respect, erect anything there. It will start out of respect.
Yeah.
The next form of ghost will be conscious created ghosts. I know of one such a case that I worked with. Yeah, the guy, he went out with a lady friend. After a while, months or whatever, she became pregnant of him, and he saw that, and he was so happy to look forward to be a father of a beautiful baby girl. And then she went for an abortion. And just the fact that she didn't knew him before she decided, to make the decision
Yes, she
of
did it
what's
by
going to
herself.
happen inside. She just went, she was not ready for this, and now she went and she
Yeah.
aborted the baby. So in his mind, he left her soon afterwards because he felt it was like murder. He looked forward to
Yeah.
take responsibility for
the
what the body he created,
body.
and now it's somewhere,
Yeah.
in the waste bin or something.
Sure.
And no, so he started subconsciously thinking. I didn't know when he phoned me and told me about the little girl that he see in his house haunting there, but actually likes. I went to the board and I asked them, the spiritual guys, what happened then. They told me all this info, and then we took it away and we gave him something, so everything is sorted out. But that is also a form of a ghost.
Yeah.
So remember that. Now, yeah, these are the eight ghost forms, main
Yes.
ghost forms. In the next program, which is program H, we are going to reveal more ancient wisdom secrets on. Oh, I love this one.
I think,
so excited.
yeah.
Oh, I finished
A lot
it
of people
and
are
I
waiting for
cannot
this
get
one.
over it. I just want to sit here and tell you about it. Were the colossal monuments like the Temple of Thebes or Thebes, whatever they pronounce it in Egypt, the Ajanta caves and the other caves in India, and hundreds of other examples, Were all those places molded or chipped out of the solid mountains with hammers and chisels, as the so-called rational thinkers want us to believe?
Yeah, Ernst, I know that we have the proof, but do we have proof on our answers?
Yes. Yes. How do the people always say when they're very full of energy? Yes, yes, yes. We are ready for that one. Can we start right
Please,
now?
no.
Yes, Nikita, we have more than enough proof. The world scientists in the field of archaeology and ancient alien city ruins around the world know what we know. Some of them definitely know. I know, I can read it in their eyes. But due to their professors in charge under who they work, and the professors working under, you know, at universities where the first, what do you call them, the Illuminati, or the first, the
World
government,
order,
yeah, the world order, whatever
world
that
order.
rules, or which rules the world, they are all slaves, mind controlled under their
Yes.
command, and
Under Satan.
unfortunately, you know, they cannot be fired due to the fact that they are not rational thinkers anymore. So a few years ago we compiled an organization, you know, I'm not going to name them or who are members of this organization, but they present a lot of detail on this ancient alien projects or whatever. And they asked me to scape a few videos for them on gods, on how these monuments were created, especially this one, which I did. And I think, in fact, maybe I may make a mistake, but I think there was 4 videos scoped, but the one they didn't put on the air, you know, they didn't show it. And I asked through the agents, there were 2 through which I had to work, what was the problem? You know what? They had a problem. They cannot take away the fact that I know what I know, because I've got the proof, I've got degrees in it, I've got whatever. Which I am very happy to have, but in any case, they cannot take away the fact that I know what I know, and I've got the qualifications to prove what I know. And I've got the proof to prove what I'm not telling you to believe in something, I'm showing you the evidence. But in any case, they cannot take the chance to show my work to the world, because what will the work think? Must all their billions of man hours and the money attached to their lives must be taken away, and Earth history must be rewritten? It came from their own mouths. They will have to do that. Now, this is the program. I told them last time, don't even bother to contact me again. I will compile my own programs and I will put it for the world to see. So if you want to see that specific program, please phone anybody that you would like to share it with. And we are going, I cannot wait for that. But the truth is the truth. And I'm sorry to hear about blockages of professors who cannot be what they are. They are forced to be what they not are, and to believe in what they don't believe. You know, but luckily for us, we are able to identify them, and I love those people. I can see they know what we know, you know, but they're not just allowed to say it. Well, I don't work for any Illuminati or anything. I work for the Most High, and He allowed me to put this program on air, so take note of it.
So, Ernst, and please, friends out there, help other people to hear the truth for a change by pressing the subscribe, like, share buttons, and remember to ring the little bell icon to be in
Please,
line.
people, help us to share this as much as you can, and ask people to subscribe. We want the world to know the truth, and you can help us do that. I mean, what we know it counts for us when we depart, for the next job in the eternity of life, maybe on another planet or so, in another body there. But there's a lot of people still in the school, let's say from grade 1 up to grade 9 or whatever, or grade 11. So please help us to help them to know what we know, so that they can also be a little bit more safe when they must permanently depart from this body. So please, and until next time, when we will once again share very, very good ancient wisdom secrets. Until next time, love and light, and bye.
Bye.